Also in Christ. I.S.U.P.K headquarters. Sabbath service has officially begun. Shofar, which means horn. Yayan, which stands for wine. La Yasharala, which means to Israel. Shofar, horn. Son of Christ. Men and women of Israel. Imajam, which means to stand. Saw upon your Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to recite the prayers, starting with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Hayat, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakovka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayat, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayat, Bashamayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalatlanawa, Kawawafyanawa, Kasalatnawa, Kawawafyalawa, Wala'a, Tabayaynawa, Banasayawan, Abba, Hawashaynawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, Iwalumium, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kosha, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Narapa'ah, Kamakala, Wakamadawa, Hakak, Nata'ah, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwiyam, Hamathiam, Hakak, Arakara, Atama Allah, like our son, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahahoyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isoya, Ma'ain, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Al-Yatan, Lamawat, Wagalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Sharamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Rayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Rai, Yashamar, Afna Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Dazaafka, Wabawaaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ait Iwalam. In the English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Hayam, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Takarash, Wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Awayabyaka, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Yaira Yamwa, Sawad, Wayatayaitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakyada, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazaka, Sham Yasharala, Aiwad, Kaya, Nawaitazawa, La, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Bara'af, Yakawafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashamalayam, Mawa'aba, Wa'agoryam, Gabal, Wa'imawan, Wa'imalak, Halashaf, Anyashabya, Tazawar, Kam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zawawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasayasara'a, Kayabian, Barakar, Wayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kaira, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakata Zalmanai, Kanasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayara Shah, Lanawa, Af, Naawaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Napanya Raka, Kaash, Tabaira Yaira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam, Kantaradatma, Basairaka, Wabasawapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shanka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Ayai, Wayakaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaira, Kaya, Afta, Shanka, Yahawa, Labaka, Ayawan, Alka Arataza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O my power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assault also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zehed. Yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, or the Most High, over all the earth. Blessing in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shah, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawab Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwatazayanyam, Ha Kayayanyam, Waha Aquathiam, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Tawada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now. Right now, send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, the prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into that sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Fasikamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nassau Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channel, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us. So I kill. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words toward the planet Earth. Let loose all the planes, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread to the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake that thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. So always return. Yeshabia, be seated. All right, clap it up. Sorry, Christ. Last week we left off at Job chapter 28, verse 22. All right. In the Hebrew, this week we're gonna pick it up at Job 28. So for the people who are watching on TikTok, go to I.S.U.P.K headquarters. All right, go to I.S.U.P.K headquarters so you can see the class. All right. There you go, water. All right, go water, wash shalom. I'm sorry, first. All right, 22. Job chapter 28, verse 23 in the Hebrew. Alahayam Abayal Daraka Wa'a Yadai Ath Makwawa Ma, verse 24.
Kaya, Hawa'a, Lakwatazawaf, Ha'arataza, Yabayat, Thakaf, Kal, Hashamayam, Yara'a, verse 25, La'ai-Shawaf, Lararat, Mashakwal, Wamayam, Thakan, Bamaga, 26, Ba'ai-Shafwa, Lamatar, Khat, Radarak, Lakazayaz, Kualawat, 27, Az, Ra'a, Waya Sapar, Hakayana, Wagam, Kakwara, 28, Waya Amar, La Adam, Han, Yara'af, Adania, Haya, Kakama, Wasawar, Marai, Bayana, 29 and 1, Wayasap, Ayawab.
Wait, Salaki, sir.
Okay. I started at 23.
You did 20. You're supposed to stop. I think is
One-
different. This one is 28.
Yeah, the last verse was 28.
The last verse is 20. Oh, you already started on this.
Right now I'm 29 and 1.
You were 29.
That would be the last verse, right? I started at verse 23, 23, 24, 25, 26,
Oh,
27,
I think you
28.
started at 22. I thought you just started at 22. Salaki, so
22 was the last verse last week, right?
it was Kama.
Yeah, so I started
That
at
was my
22.
mistake.
Nah, no sweat.
Okay.
So we in the last verse now, 29 and
We're in
1.
the last verse.
Con. Wayasap, Ayawab, Sha'af, Mashalal, Waya Amar, verse, yeah, that was the last verse. All right. Job chapter 28, verse 23 in the KJV. All right. All right. In chapter 28, I believe there's Job that's still speaking. Good. Right. There's Job speaking here, right? God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. 24. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven. All right, seen under the whole earth, and meaning under the sky. Like when you read in the scriptures, heaven could have different contexts. It could mean in the what we call the fourth dimension where the Most High dwelt, or it could just simply means the sky. All right. To make the way, verse 25, to make the way for the winds, and he weigheth the waters by measure. 26, when he made a decree for the rain and a way for the lightning of the thunder. 27, then did he see it and declare it and prepared it, yea, and searched it out. 28, and unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. All right. So last week when we were reading, we were talking about all these things that the earth. How you gonna find wisdom? Can you find it under the sea? You remember Paratazai? Can you find the wisdom under the sea? Can you find wisdom is it comparable to the gold of Ophir? To the finest metals or precious stones? None of these things could compare to wisdom. Where can you find this wisdom? Right? Where in the earth can you find this wisdom? And the answer is in verse 28. The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, There is no place you're gonna go that you're gonna find wisdom. You can't go to Dubai to find wisdom. You can't go to smoke the finest ganja in Jamaica to find wisdom. There's no place you're gonna go on this earth to find wisdom, and there's no goal. There's nothing that you can use to buy wisdom. In order to get wisdom, you have to fear the Most High. That is wisdom. Right. And this is why the I.S.U.P.K is crucial for the salvation of our people, because our people are not wise because we do not fear the Most High God. All right, and in the I.S.U.P.K, the men in the I.S.U.P.K, we fear the Lord, and because of that, the Lord has blessed us with the I.S.U.P.K since 1969. The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Verse 29, moreover, Job continued his parable and said, picking it back up in the Hebrew, Job 29 and verse 2. Maya yatan naya kayarakia kwadam kayamaya kayamya alawa yasha maranya, verse 3, bahawa narawa alya ra la'a wara alak kashak, verse 4, ka amar ka ashar haya yathya bayamya karapya basawad alawa'a alya ahalya, verse 5, ba'ai wad shadia ay madia sabaya bawafia nairia, verse 6, barakataza hala yakya bakama watazawar yatazawak ay madia palaya shaman 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 shaman. Can you text me that, Baba Kusha? Text me shaman, Job 29 and 6. Verse 7. Batazafia Sha'ira Alia Quarath Bara Kawab Akian Mawashabia, 8 is the last verse. Ra'a Wanya Na'ai Rayam Wana Kabawa Wayashayashyam Kwama Aimadwa, verse 8 is the last verse. Job 29 and 2. Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God preserved me. Verse 3, when his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. Verse 4, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle. Verse 5, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me. Verse 6, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil. Verse 7, when I went out to the gate to the city, when I prepared my seat in the street. Verse 8, the young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged arose and stood up. All right, so he's talking here when everything was lovely, right? Everything was lovely. Like we have to understand, in this truth, and it's life, period. You know, the scriptures let you know that this is the condition of the battle, right? Because life is about warfare. You're gonna have good days. You know, you're gonna have good days. You're gonna come in this truth, and it's gonna be some glorious days, and it's also gonna be some rough times. And what we have to get out of the book of Job is that no matter how hard things get, you do not stop serving the Most High. You don't use your excuses. You don't use your condition as an excuse to sin, as an excuse to fall. Right? You're not allowed to fall. All right? Even if your condition may appear to others that you have fallen. People will see you and say, "Damn, you lost your $100,000 job. You know, you lost your wife, your kids. You're on child support." In their eyes, you're falling. But as long as you keep the Lord's statutes and commandments, you do not curse the Most High like Job's wife wanted him to. You're not falling. All right, you are not allowed to fall.
Right.
Um, we just read verse 8 in the KJV. We're going back to the Hebrew, 29 and verse 9. Shariam, I Tazarah, Bamalium, Wakap, Yashayamwa, Lapayam, verse 10, Kwawal, Nagayadium, Nakabawa, Wala Shaunam, Lakakam, Dabakwa, verse 11, Kaya, Hazan, Shamai, Watha Sharanya, Wa'ayan, Ra'atha. Man, it smell lovely, Baratazar. So Christ. Wata'ai Yadunya, verse 12, Kaya, Amalat, Anya, that's myrrh.
Come.
That's myrrh by itself, right?
Or mixed in.
It's mixed in. Okay.
Come.
This is mixed in right here.
Come. Son
of Christ. I believe in verse 11, Ayanyan, Ra'atha, Wa Ta'ai Yadunya, verse 12, Kaya, Amalat, Anya, Mashawai, Waya Thawam, Wala'a, Izar, Lawa, verse 13, Barakath, Abad, Alia, Taba'a, Walab, Allah Mana, Aranwa, verse 14, Tazarak, Tazadak, Laba Shafia, Wayalab Shanya, Kamayal, Watazanya, Mashapatia, verse 15.
Last verse.
Tawada. Ayanyam, Haya, Yafia, La'ai, War, Rara, Galium, La Pasak, Anya. All right. Picking it up, Job 29 and 9 in the KJV, in the English. The princes refrained talking and laid their hand on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. Verse 11. When the ear heard me, then it blessed me. And when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me. Verse 12. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. Verse 13. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Verse 14. And I put unrighteousness and he clothed me. My judgment was a robe and a diadem. So this is important because when you read what the other three brothers, um, Eliphaz, what was their name? The other the Job three friends, right? When they spoke to him as if he was a sinner. And Job here is talking about his past from his youth up, and saying how he was not these things that the men were insinuating about him. Because here he's telling you how he helped the poor, helped the widow. But when you read what Eliphaz and what's their names? I can never remember their name. All right. It was Eliphaz the Temanite, and then we had let me get some of the names. Zophar, and the other one's name was Bildad. It was Bildad, Eliphaz, and Zophar. So when you read everything they were saying to Job, it was like as if Job was a sinner, was a filthy, disgusting Christian, but he was none of these things. Right? We're gonna go back in verse 14. I put on righteousness and he clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. So Job walked in righteousness. This is why the scripture says he was a perfect man before the Most High. Verse 15, I was eyes to the blind and feet was I to the lame. That was the last verse, right?
Oh, God.
God. I'm sorry, Christ. And this is what we ought to do as a people, man, when we are rich. Because what happens so many times, Job, as rich as he was, and he let you know that he was eyes to the blind and he was feet to the lame. So he didn't look at the people who was handicapped as if they were nothing. The people who was poor, the people who was the widows and the children, the fatherless. He didn't look at them like they nothing. You know what? I ain't gonna mess with you Negroes. I'm gonna live my best life. That wasn't his attitude when he was rich. That wasn't his attitude before he fell. And a lot of times when we come into some money, when we come into some power, the first thing we want to do is say, I ain't messing with you Negroes no more. I'm living my best life. Right? The first thing we want to do is to stunt on the less fortunate with a Louis, I ain't even want to say the name, with them name brands, them gay name brands. Because when you look at the owners of these brands, there's a bunch of, we can't say that word, right? We gotta say what the LGBT family. That's how we gotta say it now.
Yeah, LGBT alternative lifestyle.
Yeah, the alternative lifestyle people, the transmissions. I call them transmissions. Yeah, we could say transmissions. All right. When you look at these transmissions, that are designing the clothes that we want to brag so much. As soon as we get into some money and to say, you know what, this is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this transmission brand right here, and you can't afford this. This is not the attitude we should have when we have some money. When we have money, you should look at the poor. And this is why in the U.P.K. you have brothers who are not rich, but they will give their last dollar for the poor. Right? We send money, we send food and clothes to the people in Haiti, the people in Jamaica, the people that are less fortunate than us. We don't say, you know what, we live in America, the hell with the people that are suffering in Mexico. We don't say that. All right? And this is why it's important to fear the Most High, because when you fear the Most High, you have this level of brotherhood that is imperative to heal our nation. We started off 16, right, brothers?
Come.
All right, Job 29 and 16 in the Hebrew. Abba, Anakia, La'a, Bayal, La'a, La'a Baya, Nayam, Rarab, La'a, Yadai, Thea, Akakwa, Rahawa, verse 17, Wa Ashab, Ra, Mathalai, Waf, Iwal, Wama, Shanyawa, Asha Layak, verse 17. Tarap, verse 18. Wa Amal, Aim, Kwanya, Agawai, Waka, Kawal, Arabah, Yum Yum, verse 19, Sharashia, Patha Wak, Alia, Mayum, Wasal, Watal, Ya, Ya, Yalayan, Bakwa Tazayar, Bakwa Tazah, Yaraya, verse 20, Kaba Wadia, Kadash, Ain Madia, Wakwa Shafia, Bayadia, Takal Yap, verse 21, Laya, Shamaiwa, Waya, Kawa, Shamaya, right? Well, like when you, a lot of times you would hear a higher ranking man say Shamai. Shamai means to listen, it means to give ear, like to be quiet, right? So they say Shamai, Shamai, it means be quiet and listen, give ear. In order to give ear, what do you have to do? You have to be silent, right? You can't hear unless you are silent. So this is why you will see Shamai will mean be silent, and it also means to give ear. All right. Wayakawa, Waya Damawa, Lamawa, I Tazakia, verse 22, Akariya, Dabariya, La'a, Yashanawa, Wa'ai, Layamwa, Top, Malafia, verse 23.
That's it, sir.
22 is the last verse?
Come.
Okay. Started at 16, right?
Come.
Job 29 and verse 16 in the KJV. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. This is important. All right. You don't get money and stunt on the poor. You get money and you help the poor. All right. Verse 17, and I break the jaws of the Most High Christ. Text me that. I need to put this in my precept book. All right. Job 29 and 17. And I break the jaws of the wicked and plug the spoil out of his teeth. All right. It remind me of Nehemiah. Nehemiah grabbed his brothers by the beard. Like, what y'all Negroes doing out here? With these Kardashians and stuff, these German shepherds, grab them by the beard. Let's read that again. Job 29 and 17. Sorry, Christ. And I break the jaws of the wicked and pluck the spoil out of his teeth. Verse 18. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. Verse 19. What was the last verse? 22?
Come.
All right, come. Verse 19. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. Verse 20. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. 21. Unto me men gave ear and waited and kept silence at my counsel. 22. After my words they spake not again, and my speech dropped upon them. All right. All right. All right, we picking it up in the Hebrew. Job 29 and 23 in the Hebrew. Wayakawa Kama Laya Wagayam Ha'ai Rawa Lamalak Wath. That's like it. Lamalak Wash. 24. Asha Kak Allah Alaham La'ah Ya'a Mayanwa Wa'a War Panya La'a Yapayal 125 Abakar Darakam Wa'ashab Ra'ash Wa'a Shakawan Kamalak Bagad Bagadwad Bagadwad. All right, Bagadwad. All right, the Son in Christ, Bagadwad. All right, troops. Bagadwad means troops. God means troops, right? The tribe of God, right, Paratazar? I believe so. God, because it says in the scriptures, God is a troop. If I'm not mistaken, that's where that comes from. Um, we're in the middle of verse 25. Ka Ashar Abal Yam Yanakam. All right, Job chapter 30, verse 1. Wa'aitha Shakapwa Alia Taza'ai Yar Taza'aya Rayam Mamanya Laya Mayam Ashar Ma Asafia Abba Watham Lashayaf Ain Kalabia Tazaanya, verse 2. Gum Kakap Yadayam Lama Laya I Layamwa Abad Kalak, verse 3. Bakasar Wabakapan Galamawad Ha'ai Wakwayam Tazaya Amash Shawa'a Wamasha'a, verse 4.
Last verse.
Hakwa Tawada Hakwa Tap Hakwatapium Malawak Alia Shayak Washa Rash Watha Mayam Lakamam. The last verse, 29 and 23.
Come.
And they waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the latter rain. Verse 24. If I laugh on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. Verse 25. I chose out their way and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforteth the mourners. Chapter 30, verse 1. But now they are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me? In one old age was perished. Verse 3. For what? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. 5 is the last verse.
4 was
4. Okay. All right. Job chapter 30, verse 5 in the Hebrew. Man Gawa Yagarashwa Yara Yaiwa I Ali Yamwa Kaganab, verse 6. Ba'ai Rawataza Nakalium La Shakan Kariya Ipal Wakapayam, verse 7. Bayawa, so like a Bayan, Shayakim, Yanakawa, Takath, Karawal, Yasa Pakwa, verse 8, Bunya, Nabal, Gum, Bunya, Balya, Sham, Nakawa, Bun, so like a Mun, Arataza, verse 9, Wa'aitha, Naga, Yaga, Yagayan, so like it, Naga, Yanatham, Haya, Yafia, Wa Ahaya, La'a, Kashakwa, Rakwa, verse 11, Kaya, Yatha Rawa,
Last verse.
Pathak, Wayai, Naya, Rarasan, Mapanya, Shalakwa. All right. Job chapter 30, verse 5. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Verse 6. To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Verse 7. Among the bushes they brayed, unto the nettles they were gathered together. Verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were violent in the earth. Verse 9. And now I am in their song, yea, I am their byword. Verse 10. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. Verse 11. Because he hath loosed my cord and afflicted me, they have also let loose the bridle before me. So as Job was in his prime, right, and he did all of these things and helped the poor. Now, as they grew up, and now that he's going through his affliction, same people that you help are those same one that's spitting in your face now. The same one that hates you, right? Why? Because you're going through affliction. Because if you were still a rich man, they will love you. Which happens to a lot of our people. We love the rich, and we don't even know most of the time how they got their riches. And some of the times we know how people get rich. People get rich because they will do things that you will never do. Right? They will dress a manner that you will never dress. You will never act as a homosexual. And somebody who becomes rich for acting as if he's homosexual, so like we can't say that word, right? As if he's a trans member of the alternative lifestyle family, right? Then they become rich by acting in a manner that you will never act, and that person now is your idol. Why? Because of his riches, not because of his character, not because of his morality, not because of their righteousness, but simply because they're a Hollywood superstar and you respect them. Right? And that person fall, the minute that person fall, you have no respect for them anymore. Because what you truly respect is the power that the oppressor, is the money of the oppressor. You don't respect nobody that truly are righteous. And this is what we have to change as a people. We have to change our perception of value, because this society teaches us that vanity is value, as opposed to the moral compass that we should have as a people. All right. Where are we going on, Paratazar?
Starting at. You started on 12.
12 in the Hebrew, right?
12 in the Hebrew.
All right. Job chapter 30, verse 12 in the Hebrew. Isla, Yamyan, Parakat, Yakwa, Wamwa, Ragalia, Shalakwa, Waya, Salwa, Alya, Awakah, Wath, Ayadum, verse 13. Nathasal, Nathayab, Nathayabathia, Laha Wathia, Ai Yahweh, La'ah, Aizar, Lamawah, verse 14. Kaparatazar, that's your name right here, Paratazar. Kaparatazar, breaking in, break through. Sorry, Christ. Rakab, Ya'af, Yawa, Thakath, Shaha, Atha, Galwa, Galwa, verse 15. Hahapak, Alia, Bala, Hawath, Tharadak, Kararak, Nadabathia, Waka'ai, Bara, Yashaithia, verse 16. Wa'aitha, Alia, Tashathapak, Napashia, Ya'a, Kazawanya, Yamya, Ainya, verse 17. Layala'a, Tazamia, Nakwa, Ma'alia, Wa'ai, Rakwaya, La'a, Yasha, Kabawan, verse 18.
That's right.
Barab, Kat, Yatha, Kapash, Labawashia, Kapia, Katha, Nafia, Ya Azara, Ya Azarania, chapter 30, verse, what was it, 13?
Okay.
Verse 13. All right, Job chapter 30, verse 13 in the English. They mar my path, they set forward my calamity. They have no helper. Verse 14, they came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation, they roll themselves upon me. Verse 15, terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind, and my welfare passeth away as a cloud. 16, and now my soul is poured out upon me. The days of affliction have taken hold upon me. Verse 17, my bones are pierced in me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. Verse 18, by the great force of my disease is my garment changed. He bindeth me about as the collar of my coat. Verse 19, he had, 18 was the last verse. God. All right. Verse 19 in the Hebrew, chapter 30.
So like, it's Salaki, sir. That was the last set.
Don't say.
Oh, come on.
You serious?
Oh,
That was 49 verses already?
oh God, I got it written down.
God. Alright, it's either these verses are very short. Alright, no sweat. So next week we're picking it up at what? Job chapter 30, verse 13, right? We're picking it up at verse 13 next week? So hold on. I just read the Hebrew, right?
You just read the English. That's from you just read from it's like it's 5 to 11. that was set 6. And from 12 to 18, that was the last one. So I'm going to start at Job chapter 30, verse 19.
Verse 19, we start next week.
Um,
Okay, so verse 18 was the last. All right. All right, Most High Christ. So next week we pick it up at Job chapter 30, verse 19 in the Hebrew. And also we have the Feast of Purim that's approaching. That is March 5th, right?
Come.
March 5th is going to be the Feast of Purim. All right, this is our next, it is not a high holy day, but this is our next feast day. All right, with that, and my jump here. Christ. Paul speaks horn. So I can. Yayan, which stands for line.
La Yasharala, which means to Israel.
Paul.
With that, Imajam, which means to stand. Sword upon your hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. You're going to recite the prayers, starting with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Taba'ah, Atazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Hashemayim, Galanawa, Akam, Kal, Yawam, Asalakanawa, Kawawaf Yanawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawawaf Yanawa, Wala'ah, Kabayai Nawa, Manasai 1, Abal, Kawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Hayah, Akab, Kamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, La'awalamya, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kosha, Matan Lanawa, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kamakala, Kalamadawa, Hakak, Lata'ah, Hamatazarayam, Hakak, Lahakwayam, Hamathiyam, Hakak, Arakaraf, Latama'ala, Lagarashun, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Nawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalm 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah Ma'an, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Wagalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al-Yad, Yonyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Rayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashamar, After Pashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazahka, Babawaka, Ma'aika, I will love. In the English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my
My
help?
help cometh from Yahweh,
My help comes from
which
Yahweh,
made heaven and earth.
who made heaven
He
and
will
earth.
not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
will not suffer my
He
foot
that
to be moved.
keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall not slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade from thy
The
right
sun
hand.
shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee
nor
by
the
day,
moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all
He
evil.
shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming
from
in.
this time forth,
From this time
even
forth,
forevermore.
even forevermore.
Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayam,
Ayah,
Aldamaya Laka,
Adam Yamaka,
Al Takarash,
Atakarash,
Al Tashakwat,
Adashkwa,
Al Hayahana,
Kanaya,
Our Yabyaka,
Ayanamyaka,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahama Yawan,
Wamashanayaka,
Amashinamaka,
Nasha'awa,
Nasa'awa,
Ra'ash, Al Aimaka,
Ayah,
Yaira Yamwa,
Yam,
Sawad,
Shawat,
Wayata Yaitazawa,
Rai,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Aitamazumamaka,
Amarwa,
Amawa,
Lakawa,
Nakawa,
Wanakakyada,
Nakaki,
Magoya,
Magoya,
Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala,
Shamyasha,
Iwad,
Awa,
Kaya, Nama Aitazawa, Lad, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Bara'af, Bayak, Salakia, Yakawafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wayashamalayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagoya, Gabor, Wa'aimawan, Aimalak, Alashaf, Aimeshabia, Tazawar, Gum Ashawa, Nalawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zawawai, Nabanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasayasara'a, Hayabian, Banakar, Wayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nadayabmawa, Kaira, Wakazaaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazalmana, Khan Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayara Shah, Lanawa, Af, Na'awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Haba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam, Kantaradakma, Basa Iraka, Wabasa Wapafka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyahan, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayaba'awa, Aya'ai, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaira, Haya, Afla, Shamka, Yahweh, Nabadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaha Arataza. Keep not thy silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against
They are confederate against
the tabernacles of
the
Edom
tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab
Moab
and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Saul also is joined with them.
Saul also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They are hoping the children
Salah.
of Salah.
Do unto them
Do
as
unto
unto
them
the Midianites,
as to the
as to
Midianites,
Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which
Kison,
perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a ram, and like Zahab. Yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame set of the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shah, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayam, Matazab Ya'ah, Matazab Ya'ah, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawak Yahana, Ha Alawakyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Patazayanyam, Ha Kayayanyam, Wa Ha Aquathia, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Tawada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, Commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Basi Kamatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, Nassau Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro to the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh, thank you always. So be it. So, turn. Only one courtesy salute. Amajam Shabbat. Amajam Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yajmatah. Dismiss. Right? Next week we're picking it up at Job chapter 30 and verse. What was that verse, Father? It's the verse.
You gotta see.
Yeah, cut. Job chapter 30, I believe verse 19, right? Job chapter 30, verse 19. All right, cut next week. All right, shalom, Israel.